If you're thinking about doing your first resin pour, this video is for you. My last video was about how to carve the riverbed. This is going to be all about the resin pour itself. After you have finished painting the riverbed or whatever area you want to do, the first step is to put Mod Podge across it to seal it and harden it up. This is a really important step. You want to get into the cracks very well because you don't want resin to pour through. Resin will find any hole it can, any way to seep out, so you want to seal it all up completely all along the riverbed. The project I'm working on here is Helm's Deep. I'm trying to recreate the whole battle scene. If you want to see my videos on that, feel free to check them out. But this video is going to be all about how you can recreate your own river for you. I'm using this craft resin. I'll put the link in the description. I think it's a very good one to start off with. It's beginner friendly. You do get quite a lot in there. What I would advise is you use gloves. Definitely, I'll go into that a bit why later and what happened to me when I decided not to. And also, you can just use what you feel you need. I put quite a bit more in than I needed to, and I decided to use all of it. So I would say use it sparingly. So to start off with, you do equal parts of both the containers and you mix them both into the same cup. I just use disposable cups. Another piece of advice that I would say is do not use cups that you're going to drink from. It's just not worth the risk. The resin is not good for your health. If you consume it, you do not want to do that. That's why I'm just using disposable cups here, especially when I've got children. I don't want to risk them drinking it at all. And use the stirrer provided to get out as much of the resin as possible, because again, you want to try and keep it as much 50-50 as you possibly can. So you want all of the two parts in the container. When I came to actually pouring the two parts into the cups, I did use the pumps provided. Looking back, I probably wouldn't do that again. I just don't think it's necessary. You probably lose quite a lot of the liquid in the actual pumps themselves. So I'm not sure if I would. I then slowly stirred the two parts together for around 3 minutes, making sure that I scraped the sides and the bottom to make sure it all mixed together nice and well. And then, just for good measure, I pour it again into another cup and stir it again for another minute. This is just to make sure that it has all completely stirred well. It is important that it is mixed very well. And then you also want to think about where else the resin could go. So in my case, I sealed both sides with masking tape, multiple layers of it, so I thought that was the only way it could go. You'll find out that I'm not completely right, but it did work out okay in the end. Now you can see the resin pour itself. I did this very slowly and carefully. It was my very first resin pour. So I'm hoping by showing you this, if you're thinking of doing it, it will give you the confidence yourself. I just tried to fill in every single part of the river without going over the top. So yeah, you can see how it went. Don't let this bit put you off. But what I did here was use a blowtorch and to basically pop the bubbles on the resin that can appear. I have heard you can just breathe on it and that does the same thing, so you do not need a fancy burner like what I've got. It's the actual carbon dioxide that pops the bubbles, so again, just breathing on it is completely fine. You do not need to do this, but it was kind of fun. Now what I didn't realise was that the resin, once settled, was going to overspill in the middle, which wasn't exactly what I wanted, but thankfully when you put the wall over the top, it was completely fine and it wasn't a big deal for what I was trying to do, although it did feel like I'd messed up at first. So just keep that in mind. In order to avoid this, all I'd say is do smaller pours. It's okay to do multiple pours on top of each other once the previous pours have set. The other major mistake I made was during the cleanup. So I mentioned earlier what happens when you don't wear gloves. I decided to take my gloves off while I was cleaning up my work area, and there were bits of resin on the table that was there, and I decided to just clean it with paper towels and my hands. I immediately regretted this because it was very uncomfortable on my hands, which is why I would say wear gloves. It's kind of like a small burning sensation, and it's just very uncomfortable. It feels all waxy on your hands. It's hard to describe, but it's not something that you'll want to experience. So now all that was left for me to do was to remove the masking tape carefully. I did feel like I used the right material here because it didn't take away any of the paint or anything like sellotape would have, for example. And that was the final look of my very first resin pour, which I think turned out very well. In the next video I will show you how I did the flocking, so you can also learn the flocking technique. And this is part of a series, so previous videos looked at how to make the tile, how I made the wall, and eventually I will recreate the whole of Helm with the miniatures, the gatehouse, the causeway and everything. So if you've enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, it massively helps me out. And if you are thinking of doing your first resin pour, I hope this has given you the confidence to do so. Thank you!